Hey folks, it's Wednesday, so you know what that means. Welcome to Dre's Take. New article from Florida Association of Realtors, buyers skittish? For many, it's just market weirdness. So let's unpack this article. The main points here are the fact that interest rates went from 3.2 to 5.5, and it's pushed a lot of buying demand out of the marketplace. Existing home sales are down 20% year over year, but statistics and data only really make sense in context. And so when you look back at the way that demand was outpacing supply so egregiously last year, a pullback on the demand side is going to skew these numbers to look incredibly frustrating or exciting or scary for people who aren't on the inside. This can be evidenced by the median home sale price climbing 11% nationwide year over year. That marks 125 straight months of year over year appreciation. Wait, Andre, I'm confused. I know, everybody is. It's just because it's such a weird situation that we're in right now. We had no inventory, a ton of demand. Now some of the demand has come out, but we still have no inventory. Okay, so we've got some inventory. Homes are sitting on the market a little bit longer. It's pushing that active listing or homes available inventory, as we call it, higher and higher, but still hovering around 3 months, which is 3 months short of what we would consider a balanced market. And so people don't quite understand how this can still be considered a seller's market when home sales are down and we're seeing price drops in cases, and it just looks so contrast to what we've seen over the past 2 years that people aren't really sure how to take it. The real question here is, how does this pertain to you? Should I buy or should I rent? What's the smarter alternative? Well, many buyers are fearful and don't really know what's gonna happen. Obviously, there's no crystal ball. But what we do know is that the more people that choose to sit on the sidelines or rent just increases the demand on the rent side. The median monthly rent in the US is now $2,000 a month for the first time ever. Housing analyst Logan Matushami goes on to say in this article that rent prices have gone up in the last 18 months much faster than any time in history. He goes on to say, so the real question is, can you tolerate the yearly rental increase? With a home purchase, even at a higher interest rate, the buyer's still opting for a fixed monthly payment. And if rates go down in the future, they can always refinance. Later in the article, Lawrence Yun, the National Association of Realtors chief economist, goes on to answer the big question, should we buy or should we rent? And his response is short and sweet. He says, essentially, if you're gonna be in the property less than 2 years, it may not make sense to buy economically. Expected appreciation over the next couple years. If you need a quick exit to sell and get out of Dodge, you may not be able to break even after your selling expenses. But if you plan on staying for longer than 2 years, any sort of long-term game, 3 or more years, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, if you're looking to grab assets and build out portfolios for long term, he says, yeah, absolutely, it makes more sense to buy now. And I totally agree with that. If you're just renting, you're gonna be changing jobs or switching cities or something like that within the next 18 months, go ahead and rent. It's not gonna make it much better economically when you do choose to settle somewhere and buy, but it's just pure logistics and mobility at that point. If you're gonna be in place for a while, you're at a long-term position, long-term job, you don't anticipate leaving for 5, 10 years, you should probably buy. Economically, it makes the most sense. You really can't afford to continue to see 14, 15, 18, 20% rental increases year over year. It behooves you to buy and fix that living expense. Lawrence Yun goes on to say that the likelihood of a price decline is very minimal, and even so, if it did happen, would be extraordinarily short-lived. But that if you don't buy, then you're just paying ever-increasing rent, which, like I said, doesn't make sense. I don't know about you, but it doesn't make sense to me. I don't want to keep paying more and more and more for the same thing or less than what I had before. And with each passing year, missing out on the upside potential of the equity if you were to own a property. there's anything I can do to help you get situated or better explain kind of what's going on or what your options are, I'm always happy to just have that conversation. You don't have to buy anything from me. You don't have to sell anything with me necessarily. It'd be nice if you did, but you don't have to. But I'm happy to just answer questions and help you get a grip on your situation and just a better understanding. That's what I'm here for. I'm just here to help. It seems the more helpful I am, the better I do. And so that is my business and life philosophy. If you need me, I'm always here, 407-458-3199. Andre Berry, Home Expo Realty. All right, y'all, take care.